welcome to a discussion. I am officially, specifically inviting atheists in on this conversation. Now, what this is not a debate. We're not here to prove anything or try to prove anybody wrong. I'm simply asking a question, and if we can't do that, then this video is pointless. So track with me here. I'm asking this question right now. Assuming that you are an atheist, which I clearly identify that your opinions and views do not necessarily reflect the whole. It's not here to say all atheists see it this way. Now, I'm asking you, the individual, to leave a comment on what you, the individual atheist, perceive. Okay? My question is it possible that there are atheists out there who are flat earthers? That's my question. So I recently watched a documentary on Netflix about flat earthers. I was largely detached from even understanding that this was real, that this still exists. I was confused by it, so that's why I watched the documentary. And I guess I assumed that if you're a flat earther, that you by default are a religious person. That ultimately it's here we're all in this dome, it goes back to the Genesis and the firmament and all of that. So it seems to be a very biblical perspective. But as I watched that documentary, it didn't appear necessarily that most people were necessarily religious at all, specifically Christian or anything. Some were, but that wasn't necessarily how I felt after watching it. I felt that a lot of the people, if anything, were just kind of neutral, like maybe agnostic. They weren't specifically religious. So the reason I'm making this video is what I want to understand, and who I'm really targeting this for, so that you can help me understand better, is I'd like to hear what you have to say. I mean, if you're an atheist and you believe that the earth is flat, help me to understand that and unpack that. I mean, because my general understanding is that if you don't believe in evolution, then it probably implies that you're religious. Not always, but typically that's kind of the Venn diagram, right? I would say people who don't believe in evolution typically are religious people. And I would think typically people who perceive that the earth is flat are not atheists. Because there's this whole concept of like science and faith. But flat earth, it's not necessarily a religious thing, but arguably it almost seems like there's a faith aspect of it, because we're removing ourselves from what mainstream science would teach us about it. I'm fascinated by it. I think it would be beneficial of my time to learn the perspective of someone who could say, yeah, hey, I am an atheist and I do believe that the earth is flat. And here's how I can connect those ideas together. And my beliefs on the earth being flat have nothing to do with religion or God or the Bible or anything like that. I believe that, and ultimately, people who are flat earthers, I guess part of the concept is that it's a big conspiracy, that all the pictures of the earth from space and all that, and all the pilots that fly across the world, like all of that's a big conspiracy. So, you know, to me that seems like that there's a lot of faith in that. I mean, that's my perspective. So am I wrong? That's fine. Please tell me that I am, but help me understand how those ideas work. And again, this is not a debate. This is not what this is for. This is for me just trying to understand someone else's perspective, which can't we all agree that's kind of where we're at, in the history of the world right now. We're trying to empathize and understand others in our own ignorance, for sure. I mean, we are ignorant to understanding other people, but we got to ask, right? So help me understand, not a debate, just asking, hey, I'm curious how you can be an atheist and at the same time believe in flat earth. Like, just help me understand what that looks like, because I don't know anybody personally in that situation. Your comments belong right here.